everything and your heart is on this. What a great show! It was excellent! So you're losing your memory from smoking too much of that tobacco. You couldn't remember, what is it, 2 or 3 different names, which is a bit unusual for you, Paul. Normally you're up in your game and you're normally not forgetting anything. Must be because you're a pensioner now. So the show was pretty good, but there's some flaws in the show. So the first flaw is that you said you're a remote viewer. So if you're a remote viewer, I want you to tell me, what have I got in my bedroom, apart from a bed, a wardrobe and a chest of drawers? What have I got in my bedroom that is quite spiritual and very loving? So if you can tell me what's in my bedroom that is spiritual and very loving, then I know that you can do it for real. But obviously there was no backup evidence. You couldn't remember the guy's name. You said you was with 2 other practitioners, which anybody can say that. So no backup evidence. And then you said that you was going to go into the special forces because you were swimming in the pool backwards and forwards. But really no backup evidence. I googled that you was in the military. That's true. I see the pictures in your office. So that's 100% credible. But having the guy in his uniform standing in the shower and getting wet, that sounds like you got that from probably Top Gun or something like that. It doesn't sound real at all. The same as saying that you could remote view people that were caught in the mountains under a rock face, and they used their blood in which to... I'm sure that's out of another movie. So if you'd have done that type of thing, that would be documented evidence with the authorities in the States that go and rescue people. Couldn't find any of that online. So if it was Paul Chek, famous Paul Chek in the fitness industry, such a huge name, surely that would be in the media everywhere, and you would have been famous for doing that. So no credible stuff to follow that up with. So the next thing, we see the ad come in, Penny talking about, oh, Paul's doing a free time. I've never heard you do stuff for free. You must be really desperate now to get the more money to add to your estimated £32 million. Or is that all Gavin's money? I know you're probably getting a 50-50 split or something. So that really made me laugh as well. Then on top of that, I thought that you quit the bag, but the bag was back in, and then you're talking like a typical druggie that only talks about drugs. He was talking about LSD and what was that? Pyramids. Mountains high, miles high, you have to get in a lift. That must have been some wicked trip to be able to do all that. That's not really in your mind at all, is it? That's you taking whatever you're taking, and you can see that stuff. Which everybody can do that if they do that stuff. I can remember when I was 17, I took LSD and I could see elephants and I could see the wallpaper flying around and all that type of stuff. So that was just a story. That's not what real people get. And then you said that if you're really God, that you don't need anything. So why have you got over £1 million of books? And you don't need any knowledge. So why have you got £1 million worth of books behind you? And then you quoted that you had so many different types of Bibles. Something just don't add up, Paul. Then another ad comes in about you selling Spirit Gym. And then you said your soul told you to make that quote again about giving everything away. What have you given away? How many people have you helped in hospital? Like I've done, walking down the street, chatting to a black woman that had really bad legs because of COVID, and she's got the COVID, whatever it is it's called, and I tried to help her the best way that I could, totally for free. My neighbour got some stuff going on. We'd done a healing together. I charged her a plant and a bit of chocolate. Not $2,000. So it's funny, it makes me laugh. You say all this philosophical stuff, which obviously you've got from books, and then you use the philosophy in which to sell the spirit gym. So why don't you give the spirit gym away for free? So you're making huge amounts of money from the Chek program, the 6-year brainwashing or the 3-year brainwashing. So why don't you give people spirit gym and make it free for everyone? If you made it free for everyone, instead of having 20 people on your screen, you might have to have 5 extra screens in which to be able to talk to everybody. And the same as you using the analogy that all religions use, they always tape it back into God. Love, God, this. Feel God, you know, if you don't feel God within yourself, you're a horrible person, and all this type of nonsense. Exactly what the church does. So you've turned into your own church, and obviously, you know, the name of the program that you're trying to sell is Spirit Gym for $2,000 and more maybe. So you're just doing exactly the same as the church, when you said in another video you don't need anybody to heal yourself. So why did you have a client for 30 odd years? Were they just a cash cow? They certainly was more than a rent-a-friend. Then you had another one for 11 years. These are all your own words. I'm only saying back to you what you're saying in your videos. And you're like a TV or YouTube evangelist, the way that you're talking, using spirit and using spiritual words and trying to make it seem that everybody's going to improve and change without you or with you if they pay you $2,000. Now I'll set you a challenge, Paul. Do that remote viewing and tell me what's in my bedroom that's really spiritual, and I will shut the fuck up. I won't do any more videos. Like I said to Leigh Brandon, when he gets a physique, if he can do farmer's walks with 50 kilos, you could definitely do it, I know that. Even at your age, because you're super strong. 50 kilo farmer's walks, 180 deadlift, because he said on his website, which is really funny, he'd been training the same time as me. I started when I was about 14. It was a little bit earlier than that, but I didn't know what I was doing really. But obviously from 14 onwards in my school, my teacher said, you need to weight train, Scott, to get rid of that pent up energy where your dad left when you was 2 and you were being bullied by your mum and your sisters. So you had to get that energy out. So let's teach you how to weightlift. Oh, all of a sudden on Leigh Brandon's profile, he said that he started weight training at 14. And I'm like, wait a minute, where's your 18-inch arms? Where's your max deadlift? I showed him the proof of the shape I used to be in when I was in my 20s, and it was really full on. I had a 6-pack better than yours, and I can show you the photo if you want. So the way I look at it, really great performance. I can see how you jag people in and get them convinced in 2 hours. It's a sort of like 2-hour brainwashing, mind-altering session. But a lot of the stuff you can't back up. And you keep forgetting stuff now. But I know you're a pensioner. So that's acceptable, isn't it? Like when you said Vancouver, that the timing when it gets dark at 11 o'clock, it's not, it's 9 o'clock. I Googled it to find out whether you were bullshitting or whether you're telling the truth. But maybe it's from all the plant medicine you've done and all that tobacco and what else you're smoking it. It's screwing with your head, Paul. So remember on the mirror to point the finger at you. And I thought I was going to clap even more, but as soon as I see the smoking dope bag, you haven't cured any of your stuff at all. So that means when you don't cure yourself, Paul, you cannot cure anybody else. And if you speak to people that go to Alcoholics Anonymous, they only work with other people when they've cured it in themselves. So I hope you like this video, Paul. I'll keep doing them every time I see you do a new video, and just pull it apart and see the fakery. So the people that are not too sure and are thinking about spending £2,000 will wake the fuck up and not make that mistake. Oh, one other thing I've got to tell you. GDPR, because your staff wouldn't give me the information from 2013 when Gavin and others like Leigh, Brandon, Matt Wallden and GavinJennings decided to sabotage my business. Now the GDPR investigation is getting very active. You may end up having to pay 17 million of your fortune. But I'll leave that up to GDPR. That's not money that'll come to me. That'll be money they'll be getting off of you if you don't release my emails from 2013. Because that's when it all started, isn't it? And obviously GDPR will be able to investigate if you start redacting and deleting information. But if you do that, it will give me more ammo in which to educate the public about the spirit fakery of Spirit Gym, and how the loving CHEKInstitute is not loving at all, when I did absolutely nothing wrong apart from voice my opinion to the cult. And then you said, oh, if you love yourself, you don't need anybody else to love you. So you had a go at people that are single and don't have partners, which is about 65% of UK population now. You're having a go at all of them. But and yet you've got 2 wives and you're a polygamist, obviously, and then you're a predator in the classroom. But then you said that you don't need that. And then you said you don't need a healer in which to get better. But then you had clients for 30 years and 11 years. It's all so hypocritical and it's all over the place. And you can't corroborate the remote viewing of them 2 people or them people that are in the mountains. And if you did, it'll be in the media. It's nowhere in the media. The same as you said about how much land your family had on the farm. But then in another video, you say that you had no money, you was poor. How can you be poor and have no money when you got, 141 acres? It's complete and utter bullshit. This is why you're not getting sign-ups. It's because people are seeing through your mask. Okay, see you again soon. Let's hope you give all my GDPR information and you don't get a £17 million fine. Bye, Paul.